Okay, let me,
So I told her this.
you know,
time,
if
I
this
said,
was
well,
my
let me
neighbor
get
I was talking to, that
close
charged me
up glasses
$20
and further away glasses. I just, I can't do it.
Highly unlikely for me. So.
That's, yeah.
I said highly unlikely.
But, so are we talking?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Well, I did it a big way, man.
You did.
And I created it for contacts, because I have.
If you was gonna pay him to wash his mom's car, how much would you?
Good to see you.
See how good of a job he did. He didn't do as good of a job because his mom.
I can see my
We're waiting for Brandy. She said she would be here in just a few minutes.
She didn't want to. So she asked.
Oh, well, we have enough. We could go ahead and get started, right?
I want to watch it because I don't
Okay.
know. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it right.
Well, let's go ahead and do it.
So, let me look and see how well. I'll
She
look at
can.
his phone, see how good of a job he did,
Okay,
and we'll work on it. He won't be here.
okay.
You ready to get started?
We're ready.
Am I holding you up? Let me look.
Maybe.
Can I turn the mics on or?
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead and turn them on. We'll go ahead and get
Mics on.
started. All right, good evening. Welcome to the Downtown Development Board meeting for June. Can you believe we're in the middle of June? We're going to call it to order. We have determined that we do have a quorum, and let's review and approve the May meeting minutes. Does everybody have a copy or seen a copy of them in your email? Okay.
I make a motion to accept as written.
Okay, and we got a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the ayes carry. New business. Do we have any new business on our agenda tonight? You're good. We just approved the meeting minutes. Welcome, Brandy. Okay, we'll move on to our old business. Brochure update. Who's going to give that update? We got
Already? That
Steve right
quick?
there, if that was quick.
Do you want us to go to something else and come back to that?
I'm good.
Okay,
Beautiful.
Go ahead.
So, I think at the last workshop, I think we decided you were going to let me just take a stab at it.
Yeah.
Content-wise, it's got a lot of the lorem ipsum unum gibberish. But I went back through this version just to kind of see, and I was just really, if you take a look at this and you looking for content, there's a small paragraph here. Some testimonials from business owners. We've got an entire brochure with one paragraph. I didn't realize that until I really started looking at it going, that's all the information that we have. There's nothing about the history, nothing about Spring Hope. Just one paragraph and a bunch of pictures and headlines.
And it's got the statistics at the very end.
And no offense to anybody, I think we spent way too much time on that.
Not to have more than that
Yeah.
for content.
I mean, we spent a lot of time and it's gone. We can't get that time back, but, I know you guys picked fonts at one of the workshops that I didn't make it to, and I could not tell you what those fonts were.
That's okay, I'm
So I
not
took
super
a
attached
stab.
to them.
If you don't like them, if you don't like this stab I took, it's fine too. I can go back to the drawing board, but, this is sort of a rough draft. It's been a busy month. After about next week, things will slow down for me quite a bit. This color is off because my printer is in bad shape, but, just one of mine at work, and we'll get that fixed soon. There's no pictures in here that are representative of Spring Hope. That is not Spring Hope. I do fly a drone, and I can take a picture.
Y'all want to share one and Brandy and I'll?
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
This does have our color, and I've got it on my laptop if anybody wants to see it a little bit better. But this is the logo we most talked about at that last meeting. The mayor section, I don't know if you want to use a mayor, commissioner, or someone from this board, anybody, like a section like that. I think I could do some interesting things with some neat photography, like a photography at Town Hall on that page. Town with Heart and Vision. There's a lot of that, again, is lorem ipsum unum, but it's more content. We also talked about making it, instead of that smaller size, making it, where it's visible on a computer, a laptop, or a cell phone. So if you do it landscape, it'd work great on a computer. Portrait, it works all right on a cell phone. So went 8.5 by 8.5, made it square. Works on both. Just a different way to use the images, headlines, using the colors that you guys all selected.
So Steve, real quick, can you go back 1 second? So you said that format is the best for multiple,
But yeah, if you think about it, it's gonna be online. It's an online brochure. So I mean, if you're gonna print it, obviously it's a certain, different ways. But if you're an online brochure on my laptop here, landscape would be the best way to do it, 8.5 by 11 or 11 by 8.5. On a cell phone, a taller version would be okay. But you only have one file out there. So make it square, it works for everything. It's an online version anyhow, so. And if it had to be printed, it still fits within the parameters of being easy to print, physically print.
Also, we decided to prioritize the online version because it's easily editable.
No, I
When things change, we can adjust it as needed.
no, I understand that. I was just, what ratio most stuff online actually is? Does anyone know? What is it usually?
It really depends on what website your base is on, but
So
I mean,
like
8.5
a
by,
social media platform, like Facebook or whatever, most of the time it knows whether you're viewing it from a phone or a laptop and it shows it the appropriate dimensions. But our stuff doesn't have that kind of algorithm.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just a
I mean,
placeholder.
we just kind of figured that regardless of what kind of device people are looking at it on, I mean, if we're prioritizing online version, square would make the most sense. I can get an aerial shot, current aerial shot of Spring Oak. But, I don't know. Do your worst.
I guess I had a question for the board while they're thumbing through this. Did we say we were, at the last meeting, that y'all wanted to include businesses or not, or how many? I remember some discussion
I
about
have
that, but I
notes.
don't
Give me
remember
a
where
second.
y'all landed.
Yeah, I want to think we
At the
wanted
last
to use the
meeting?
Yeah, we did discuss it. Give me a second.
directory type.
Story of my life, Frankie.
I think we kind of landed on was, if we're going to include businesses, that we need to have a more,
Representative?
yes, of what we do have versus just, one or two. Because there was a lot of downtown businesses that didn't make it to that.
Did we think we were going to use the directory that they have for utilities for businesses? And we were
weren't
going to
gonna-
expand on the outskirts of town if it had a Spring Hope address?
I think what we wanted to do with the brochure was just kind of do like, we have these types of businesses, and then have a directory that you can access, because that,
Have a link maybe
yes.
to what's already on the
Right.
town's
Okay.
website?
What we discussed was picking 8 to 12 businesses that will best attract foot traffic to downtown. We didn't actually pick the businesses, but that was what we discussed, was with, trying to figure out which ones will attract the most business.
Well, that should be pretty easy. We probably have about 12 businesses, 12 sizable, like storefront businesses.
Right, and with the antique shops, we could probably like classify them together, and get them all up there, but without taking up a ton of room, and then after that, there's not a ton of other stuff going on.
I think the point was if we went down the path we were going, and we left somebody out, we'd have, so a business directory aside from this would promote the town in general and don't get too deep in how many businesses we put on there.
Right.
Or we end up going down that path and this thing is really long.
Right.
But, for me, I would just like to know if I'm on the right path to suit you guys. You know, we've still got work to do on the logo, but
So I like the format of this. I think it would flow nicely on a web page, because that's where most of it would look. It's a good start.
Yeah, I think it looks great.
well, I've got more I need to do to it.
Well, I mean, yeah, but.
I mean, I need
where
a lot
we're
more I
at-
need to do to it, but just,
Yeah. I mean, I
yeah,
think
it's
this
a
is as
definite improvement.
far as where we were on the other ones, so, yeah.
And
I
I like the
also-
colors. I know it's not quite right because the printer, but for,
yeah, I mean, if you want to see it on my computer, you can after we're finished. I mean, it's a lot cleaner on the computer.
Did y'all, we talked about this, because I want to be able to lend a hand to Steve and his efforts, and all of you, of course. Did we coalesce around what statistics to use for a town? I know we went back and forth about what the statistics were in the previous draft of the brochure and how accurate they were and where they came from, so I was wondering if we ever coalesced, because there wasn't anything in my recollection that coalesced.
Did we talk about the other sources of statistics of where we could get those from?
Well, there's the state demographer's office and NC Commerce. There is, of course, the US Census, which, can be an argument all day long about how accurate that is, but. So there are multiple sources, that it depends on what, I mean, I can kind of, what I can do is a cursory search for y'all to look at maybe some, and then at the next meeting, kind of take a look at different iterations and what they say about Spring Hope.
I think that's a great suggestion.
So we could put that as a source up here too.
Yeah, yeah. And then we can state our source. But I think if we can find a source that sits as true to Spring Hope as possible, so out of those three sources, maybe find something that we can find that
They
sweet
decide
spot
that,
of the truth in
They
there.
want to cherry pick them
Yeah,
at the end of the day.
and we could cite all three or whatever. Okay. Is that good with everybody? Mm-hmm. All right.
Yes.
So next steps, is there anything on this brochure that you need from us, Steve, to help move it along? I know you seem to
No,
be
I-
doing a lot of the heavy lifting here.
Well, in the past month, since I said I'd jump in, or 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever it's been, I've been pretty busy outside of here. I got one more week of busy. But, there are, I think I said earlier, I do fly a drone. Just don't hover over people's houses if someone's doing in town and just sit there. But, I can get a good aerial shot, whether it's good, whether we like that or we want to do a different image, we could use an aerial shot. So I can get a good aerial shot of Spring Hope. I'll just kind of do what I'm seeing in my head. You guys can like it, or we can get a better photo or a different photo to replace them, but I'll get something in there, at least just to pitch something. It'd be better than the dead tree stuck on the dam.
Agreed.
I would say, take the image from somewhere towards Strickland's back this way, and not capture Strickland's.
It depends on the time of day too, because we need the sun that way wherever I'm flying to.
Yeah.
But I'll get it one way or the other.
I think now that the right of way is cleared up a little bit, even
Yeah.
casting it that way, now, when all the axles and parts were out there, it was pretty bad, but that's all cleared out lately, so.
Yeah, I'd like to get up high enough to where you don't see those kind of details.
Yeah.
Just see a quiet, cute, quaint town.
Okay.
How high up can you fly your drone, Steve?
Legally.
Yeah,
Space.
I guess that's what I.
Legally, I believe I'm at 175 meters.
Wow, so that's about 400 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty high.
I'm impressed
I
with
can
that
get up this
conversion.
high. I can get up that high.
I'll take the details out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I can
Alright.
fly it from my front porch about 2 miles that high.
So you do it without even leaving the house.
What's making war so easy these days? Unfortunately, too easy.
That's true.
Okay, what else do we need to consider or work on this brochure?
Are you guys opposed to that, the town hall picture and a message from somebody? Having a suggestion on whether that would be a mayor or a commissioner or someone from this board?
That's the second page. Thank you.
I think that would be fine. I mean, you can always change out.
Yeah, because it'll be digital media, so
that's what I
as
was
things
thinking.
change, we could change it, but I like the format that you have now. I
too.
think that's appropriate.
I wish I could have thrown, I wanted to get down here, but it's been raining. I was gonna, at least gonna take a picture of the front of the building to show you what I see here. And just throw a picture in some of these spots, but, and I think on page 3, A Town with Heart and Vision, Randy, I think it's gonna come down to, what we put on that page, content-wise, is what we should do with some of those, the photo images on that page.
Agreed.
But that's, I mean, there's really no content, but that's something we should, I think my first line says what I thought maybe we should put in there, quality of life, future growth, development, community, what's the town's goals and visions.
Yeah,
I mean, that's kind of what this brochure was for, and
right.
And we have some of that groundwork from Bruce Nagelin's efforts, so you
Yeah.
can take some of that verbiage out of his stuff too.
Wonderful.
we could find, page 4 was about, the community itself. We can find a pretty street, pretty houses, just kind of
Yeah.
put that in there. It, shows that it's also nice to live here. I think the rest is
On that welcome
self-explanatory.
page, taking a step back, I'm sorry that you guys moved on right away. I'm not sorry you moved on right away, but
No,
I
but-
wanted to say something about that. You can have multiple messages, and oftentimes I find that these types of, marketing, brochures and tools have multiple messages, maybe one from the mayor, one from a person in the business community or the chamber or this board, so you can have multiple messages.
Good idea.
One is more kind of like, rah-rah, and the other's more kind of nuts and bolts, that kind of thing.
I know this isn't a work session, but with that in mind, that, the page that says support small, grow big, and thrive together, and have business info, whatever we decide on business. I mean, being that this is online, we're not limited to certain number of pages. So if we were
can make
printing
that
it,
be
we
as
probably
big
need to
as we
stick
want
to an
to.
8-page spread, or 12, it goes up in increments of 4, but since it's online, we do this in 2 pages and have a message maybe someone from the chamber, because they represent the
Talking about
business.
this page,
Make that I don't know what I would do on there layout as far as, it just
Well-
depends on if we want to put these multiple businesses like we've had here.
I would like to point out that on this page, once we have a directory, it would be super easy to link the full directory in here, so if people want it.
Yeah,
So it's not like we're truly leaving people out.
You also sometimes see those where people will have or where organizations have people's logos or brands, like kind of stuck on the page, kind of surrounding it. Like, these are the businesses without doing a full-blown, anything about the business, just the logo, to kind
Right.
of pique people's curiosity.
Okay.
On a digital format, you can even have a clickable link where they can click on it and takes them to a web page.
Right.
you can create clickable links in the PDF.
Yeah.
Just have it PDF, anybody can view a PDF even on cell phones. But to his point, that would be a good spot to invite the chamber to post whoever that might be.
Yeah.
Have just a little section there. But that was my stab at it. Hope you liked it.
I like it.
Thank you.
So do we want to save this for our next work session and kind of divide up the data that
Yes.
needs to be collected. Okay. All right,
And
that sounds good.
I'll try to get more of it more complete and try to add some imagery to it
Okay,
so we can get a little bit better view of it at the next work session. Maybe
well,
we
I'm
can
impressed.
Start fine tuning it there.
Good job, Steve.
I can email it to you if you want also.
Do you all want an email copy of it, just to see what it would look like online? Yeah.
Yes.
That would be great.
Yeah, we'll let you do
Yeah.
that, and that way we can see the true colors and, okay. So if we don't have anything else on the brochure, we'll move on to business after hours update.
We had, 7 business owners, well, 9 business owners at the meeting, last Thursday. The 2 newest businesses in town were there, Sage and Smudge, and the couple that's opening, Depot Delights across the street. And, the young man that has the ATV store next to Marzillo's was present, and, well, 7. And Brandy and Lori are business owners. And so we had less people than we did the first meeting. I was wondering if you wanted to consider maybe spacing these meetings out every other month. I think once a quarter is too long, but maybe every other month instead of every month. What do y'all think?
I like it.
I like it. It would work better for me. It's a lot sometimes, so, to do more than one thing in a month. So, yeah, I like it, Pam. Do we
Well,
need to
if we
vote on
did
that?
the next one would be
August,
August, then you got
October.
then you got December.
And then, after October, my suggestion would be not have another one until the next year because you're into the
Skip
holiday
November
season.
and December.
And people are terribly busy and some merchants are more busy. And
I would skip the December one and pick back up in February like it would be a normal, cause November, December, January, those are, year-end, tax time, holidays, all of that stuff. But if we have them all scheduled out, we could just skip that December one and keep everything else normal.
I've got maybe a dumb question, but
August.
is, not historically, but is this, just to clarify, is this a chamber event with our involvement or our event with the chamber involvement?
it's a joint.
It's a joint, okay.
I think that's a good idea.
And April Barner was gonna ask, and, talk to her parents, she was gonna ask, but she's interested in hosting the next meeting in August at the Artist Arts Center.
That'd be good.
That would be good.
Do we want to pick a date for that, or do we want to stick with
The second Thursday.
second Thursday?
Is Thursday what works best for everybody? Did we pick Thursday for a certain reason?
It's awfully much better than a Monday.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Monday, I
Oh,
know
Mondays
Monday's
are out.
not.
Yeah,
Or
Friday's
Friday.
not happening.
Monday and Friday, Wednesday.
The first one ended up on a Thursday, I think, because we had it at Peachtree Hills Country Club. And they were smacked that week with, the 50th anniversary of the country club was coming up. They had, another event going on. I can't remember what it was. And Thursday was the only night they had. So,
So Mondays and Fridays are bad. Wednesday you've got churchgoers, so it's either Tuesdays or Thursdays, in my opinion.
Okay. Well, continue on.
What were you thinking?
I just don't want to do it on Thursday, but I'm the odd man out here, so it's okay.
Well, how about Tuesdays?
It's Tuesday and Thursday are one and the same, so it's fine.
Okay, okay. All right. So we're thinking August
14th?
14th.
At 6.
And that, we are believing that that's going to be at the Artist Art Center.
Yes. I'll find out between now and the next meeting.
Okay.
once you do find out, shoot me a message because I can update the last graphic and post with just the new time
Okay,
and place, and we can forward it out and everybody can post it.
Okay,
okay.
all right. Anything else about business after hours that we want to touch on?
Oh, not from me.
Okay, we'll move on to the next agenda item, which is Facebook update.
That would be you, sir.
Well, it's funny, I had this conversation with my staff just last week. As all of you know, and I've said it many times, I do not have a Facebook page, but there's been a lot of ugliness on Facebook. So my staff anyways, is very reluctant to start up another Facebook page. And, alternatively, I guess, turning off comments, it seems counterproductive, but. So.
If the goal is to inform the public of the events and other things that are going on, I think turning off the commenting is perfectly acceptable. That is not the point of the page.
And I think under that scenario, I think it's fine. And people are entitled to their opinions, and that's part of the.
But there's other Facebook pages they can put their opinions on.
Yeah, absolutely. And we certainly, we don't want to promote any ugliness associated with the town of Springville. And unfortunately, some people do want to promote that. So, yeah, we're fine doing it without comments.
Okay. Well, I think that's acceptable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any idea about when you think that will?
Yeah, once we, as all of you know, it's quickly coming to the end of the fiscal year, so once we do all of the turnover in terms of, the systems, so, that's at the end of this month. So sometime in July, the only issue with July is we'll be getting the depot project up and running, and my staff is helping with that as well. Actually, the potential contractor, I don't wanna say the contractor yet, because they're not technically under contract, but they've been paying, town quite a few visits in anticipation of mobilizing, so that's gonna be a very, very busy time. But I'm hoping sometime we can carve out maybe later in July.
Okay.
And so, or maybe if we could just set a goal to say we would like to make that announcement that that page is out there and available at the business after hours in August. And that gives you a little breathing room to get it done, and you can work
And if
around.
it's
That's
not quite
good.
there, or we're still working on it, maybe, my goal was to have it operational by after Labor Day, let's say, sometime after the 1st of September.
Okay.
Anyway, so that kind of melts
Yeah, it's close.
things either way.
Okay, perfect. So just give us a little target to work towards. All right, well, that's movement. That's good news. Thank you for that.
Actually, got approval from the state to start up the wastewater treatment plant project, so there's gonna be a lot going on around here.
It's good stuff. Yeah, it's good stuff. All right, we'll move on to our next agenda item, which is Rock Your Block update.
I don't have anything.
We don't have anything.
I don't have anything other than the few texts I've gotten from Kyle, who says that he hasn't gotten anything either.
Okay. All right, so let's move that agenda item to next month as well. Let's roll it, the Rock Your Block, and we'll see if we,
Well,
Well, the deadline
Quickly.
I
is
think
June the
it's-
8th.
oh,
Are
okay.
we just gonna
Yeah,
let
I
it
think
go?
this-
Okay.
I think this one just died.
It just died.
I think
Died
this
on the
one might
vine.
be a dead one. However, we do still have the prizes that were donated by April Carter and her husband on the garden club. Or he's not on the garden club, she is, but his business donated the other two gifts. Do we want to try to come up with another way to use those, or should we just call them and offer it back to them?
Well, did they put any stipulations on the gift?
They did not.
So what if we did like a door prize at the business after hours? That might encourage a little more
Hey,
participation.
that's a good idea.
I like it, and that's why I think they would also approve, and of course, I'll give her a call and
Okay.
double check with her. But the reason that they did it was for outreach for the business. So I think they would appreciate that.
Okay. So it doesn't go to waste and they still get the same bang for their buck, hopefully. Okay. All right, so do we want to try to do a Rock Your Block again, or we just want to maybe revisit that
Next
at
year.
another time? Next year, maybe?
I think that we just, honestly, I don't know if it was that we didn't have enough interest or if it was that meeting where most of the town was under the impression that you had to be in town. So I'm not sure what the issue was.
So maybe we want to put that as one of the topics for our next work session, and we can kind of tease that out and talk through it. See if we want to restructure how we are doing that, or maybe not do it at all.
Maybe we ought to back up and do it for businesses. Not call it Rock Your Block, but call it something else where we could get businesses to spruce up some of their places.
Oh, sort of a facade improvement?
Yeah. I like that idea.
I like it too.
How about, maybe kick it around a little bit before we roll that, something like that?
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
we
We'll talk
will.
about it in our next work session.
Yeah,
before-
let's do that. Let's put it as a topic at the work session.
Rock Your Facade doesn't have quite the same.
It doesn't have, no, it doesn't have the same oomph to it, does it? Promenade on the facade. Well, and there's got to be some kind of incentivization because business owners are busy. So that we've got to come up with something that would be interesting to them.
You could, and I'm
Yeah.
just throwing this out there, you could associate it with, maybe the pumpkin festival or towards the time of the pumpkin festival, where maybe businesses can decorate for the pumpkin festival.
I like that.
You know, so that you have kind of a tie-in with something besides just, hey, spruce up your facade,
Yeah.
promenade your facade.
Or
Although
pumpkin
one
your
year-
facade.
There was one year that the town was decorated so beautifully and then it rained.
Was that the year of the hurricane?
Yeah, the
Because
hurricane.
everybody decorated the
And it
fronts of
was
their
so-
stores. It was beautiful.
so,
It did.
so cute.
Yeah, it rained and you got that wind and it was, yeah.
It was sad. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll come back to that one then. We'll move that to work session chatter. Next item is our next work session. Get our little calendars out here and see what's gonna work. Are we wanting to do something this month, or we want to do something in July? What were we thinking?
July is going to be a tough month for me. Just overall, I'll be pretty busy.
Yeah.
But how's everybody's week of the 4th looking? Are we going out of town? Everybody
Yeah.
gonna not be here? Okay, that's what I figured. And the following week, we could potentially do that.
How does,
Week of the 7th?
Yeah,
Second week of July?
yeah.
how does Tuesday the 8th look for everybody? Or Wednesday the 9th?
Wednesday is better for me. I definitely can't do Tuesday.
I'm good anyway.
You're good? How about you, Deanne?
So far Wednesday would be fine.
Steve?
Yes, ma'am.
You're
Oh,
good? Okay. Hold on.
Well, okay, I can do Wednesday, but I will be later than normal. We'd have to push it up an hour to 7 instead of 6.
7 work for you all?
Yeah, so that's fine.
Where do you all want to meet at?
I'm good to keep doing it at Lori's if y'all are.
That's fine.
I think it works well. There's plenty of room for us to spread out and seating.
And we get to eat.
That too.
And you get to eat. Okay.
I probably Probably should have texted Lori today.
Let her know, hey, we're meeting at your place July 9th. We gotta
We'll
have.
do it right now.
Yeah, make sure she's good with that.
She don't mind. She's got a new menu this week.
Okay.
Looks good too, didn't it?
It does. It looks real good.
Menu items or menu?
Menu.
Ah, awesome.
I made it.
What was that date? 7?
The night that
The 9th
Good.
At 7, right?
at 7. Yeah.
You saw it.
Ro was here.
She was, she left. Okay, so providing we don't hear anything back from her, we're good on our next work session. Any public comment? Okay.
We're technically members of the board.
That's right, that's right. Okay, so informal discussion, we did have Ro here earlier, but she stepped out. I
I
don't,
know the garden club is checking on interest for a community garden, so I'm not sure where that, I was hoping Ro would give us an update.
Well, I got a call or text, I don't remember which, from Ms. Perry, John Perry at the Spalding Family Resource Center, asking about community gardens and whether or not that was permitted under zoning, and it is. I mean, it's perfectly acceptable, so if that's the venue, I don't know, so I think that is possible.
They were being held up by, Roe had found some large metal containers where they could do container gardening at, behind the Ag Center in Nashville, and had wanted to buy those for an inexpensive price or have them donated to the garden club. And the holdup has been the gentleman that has to give that permission. And, so they're kind of still waiting on him. And the other thing that I've noticed that they've done is they took some hostas out of that bed by the post office and moved them around that big tree on the side of that parking lot, on the Walnut Street side of that parking lot, and really cleaned that out. It looks good. Good.
it does, it looks really nice. Okay, so we don't have, well, we kind of gave a garden club update, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
All right, do we have any other business that we need to cover tonight? All right, then our next meeting is Monday, July 21st at 6 PM, same place, same bat channel.
If I may, it gets back to the brochure y'all talked about, or we talked about, having an artist, whether it was a contest or paying somebody. We did have put money in next year's budget to be able to pay an artist if it's a paid commission.
Okay.
For,
The logo.
The logo.
Very nice.
Rather than using stock images, but, whether the board decides to use a contest, and open it up to the general public, or to pay commission an artist to do it, so.
And I think that would be a great thing to present at the Artist Art Center, because they have that connection with artists, so, perfect. Anything else you all want to chat about, talk about tonight? Okay, motion to adjourn.
So
Second.
moved.
Okay, motion carries.
All right.
Thank you, that was record time in my 4 minutes.
And I feel like we got stuff done.
Yes, we did. Well, I think having those work sessions in between, we get a lot of that nitty-gritty work done, and then we just bring it to the table and we talk about it.
Yep.
I like that.
Me too.
Okay, well, thank you all for all your hard work this week.